So continuing on from the previous part, go to the content drawer and then navigate to blueprints, and in here I'm going to open up the BP third person game mode over here, and then in here I'm going to navigate to the event begin play over here. I'm going to select all of these nodes over here and then drag them away. Alright, so just like this. And after that, I'm going to drag this execution pin and then search for cast to BP game instance. I'm going to right click over here and then search for get game instance. Connect it to the object over here. And after that, I'm going to drag this execution pin and then search for load game from slot. So we are going to load the data that is stored in the slot over here. And then in the load game from slot, I'm going to drag the slot name over here and get it and connect it like this. Since we changed the name of the store slot name back to slot 1, you don't really need to get the reference of the store slot name over here. You can use this specific slot name over here to the load game from slot to retrieve the data in our save game. And after that, drag this execution pin and then search for cast to BP save game, and then connect the return value to the cast to BP save game over here. And after that, from the as BP save game, I'm going to get the save G store characters. And after that, from the save G store characters, I'm going to search for get, and we're going to get a copy. Back in our cast to BP game instance, I'm going to drag the as BP game instance, and we are going to get the GI character array index. And then I'm going to drag the output pin and then search for break. After this, I'm going to drag the execution pin and then search for spawn actor from class. Once again, move these nodes further away, and after that, we are going to drag the game characters to the class over here. And once we are done with this, go back to our game level. So for me, it's the infinite runner level. I'm going to save the changes, and then I'm going to select the player start over here, and then back to our third person game mode. I'm going to create a new variable over here. I'm going to call this character spawn transform. Change the data type to transform, drag this out, and we're going to get the value, and then connect this to the spawn transform. And after that, go back to our level, and I'm going to copy the location by right clicking over here on our transform location. You'll get the option to copy it. So I'm going to copy the location first, and then back to our third person game mode. I'm going to compile this and then select our character spawn transform and go to details, default value. Click on this drop down arrow, and then we're going to paste the values like this. And then coming back to our level, we don't really need to copy any of these values over here, since we already have them over here in our character spawn transform as default values. So yeah, we are done with that. Now once again, select all of these nodes over here and then again drag them away, and then I'm going to right click over here and then I'm going to search for get player controller, and after that, drag from the return value and search for possess. Connect the execution pin to this function over here, and then connect the return value to the input pin over here, and then connect the execution pin. And after that, go to class defaults over here and then drag down, and under classes, make sure to change the default pawn class to none. So compile this and try running this again. And now if I were to exit back to the store level, and now if I were to try selecting the female runner, you can see our character now changes to a different character. Now if I were to collect a bunch of coins and try buying the cube runner, then I can then choose that as well. So if I were to go to the store level, and now if I were to purchase the cube runner, you can see we are now using the cube over here, and there's an issue over here that I want to highlight. So if I were to now exit the game and then try playing this again, you can see our playable character defaults back to our male runner. And the reason for that is because over here in our BP game instance, we are using the GI character array index over here to determine which character to actually use in our game over here. And by default, the GI character array index is 0, and that means it selects our male runner. And in the case of a game instance, it only stores the data while you're running the game. As soon as you close the game and try running it again, the data that is stored in the game instance gets deleted. So in this case, we actually need to use a save game over here. Alright, so we need to actually save our character array index to our BP save game over here, so that the save game will actually store the data even after we close our game. Alright, so we are going to create a save G character array index instead. Create a new variable and call this save G character array index. Change the data type to integer and then compile this. Once again, leave the default value over here as 0. And after that, go to our store blueprint widget, go to graph. Over here, we are saving the data into our BP game instance. So we are simply going to replace that with our save game instead. I'm going to delete these two nodes over here. I'm going to drag the ASBP save game and get its value. And from the ASBP save game, we are going to search for the save G character array index. So I'm going to set its value over here, connect the execution pin from the reroute pin to the set save G character array index, connect the output execution pin to the sequence over here, and then connect the output data pin to the save G character array index. Compile this and save it. And back to our third person game mode, I'm going to delete these three nodes over here. I'm going to drag the data pin from the ASBP save game and then search for get save G character array index. So connect all of the nodes like this. I just moved some of the nodes around like this. So yeah, now if I were to try compiling this and then try this out again, if I were to go to the store level and then click on the delete save game over here. Once again, go back to the store level. You can see that the save game got reset. So I'm going to select the male runner and then try collecting some coins, so we can try purchasing the characters and try them out. Once again, I wanted to remind you that if you wanted to actually save the total number of coins, you have to actually die by getting hit by one of the obstacles. Otherwise, the coins will not get saved into the save game. So back in our store level, I'm going to purchase the female runner over here. And you can see our character have now changed. And if I were to now close the game and try running this again, you can see our playable character has now changed into the female runner. If I were to try doing the same thing for the cube runner, we are going to purchase the cube runner over here. And if I were to now try exiting the game and play this again, you can see our default playable character has now changed. With this, our character selection system is done. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and then see you later. Bye.